Does maturity come with age, or is it a state of mind, a condition of the spirit? This is a question that has intrigued philosophers and thinkers throughout the ages. Maturity, at its core, is a maturity of the spirit, for the physical world we inhabit is an illusion, a distraction from the true essence of existence. This physical illusion holds significance only in its impact on our spiritual selves. First and foremost, maturity is the realization of this truth. It is the ability to control one's consciousness in a way that fosters the growth of this maturing process. It is a state achieved when one learns to control their consciousness, an ability unfortunately lacking in many individuals on our planet. To achieve maturity, it is essential to evaluate the value of each thought that occurs in our minds and reject those that hold little or no worth. Most of the thoughts that populate our daily lives lack maturity, keeping us in a perpetual state of spiritual infancy. It becomes a cycle, a self-propagating phenomenon, communicated from one individual to another. To reach a state of true mental maturity, it is necessary to filter out the thoughts that constantly infiltrate our minds from our environment and carefully select each thought we generate. But how do we discern valuable thoughts from meaningless ones? All that is required is to analyze each thought in relation to our true objectives. If a thought has true consequence, if it develops either our consciousness or the consciousness of someone else, then it is a thought of value. A thought or concept can develop consciousness in several ways. One method is through evolving our ability to analyze the merits of our thoughts. Once this is achieved, the thoughts themselves become catalysts for the maturing process. Every thought we have holds importance, either in a negative or positive sense. Recognizing thoughts of no consequence as valueless and amplifying and utilizing thoughts of consequence is a vital step towards maturity. Maturity is first, the ability to think in this manner, and second, to act in accordance with these thoughts. Despite the millions of thoughts generated on our planet each day, a minuscule percentage are related to maturity, to creating an environment conducive to spiritual growth. So, what is spiritual development? It is the process of maturing, of analyzing everything we are aware of in an unbiased sense. To do this, one must be able to recognize truth. The recognition of truth is only possible through the process of allowing truth to communicate the absolute base for truth, which is ever present throughout the universe. This communication is primarily achieved through meditation. In summary, maturity is a state of spiritual development, achieved through the control of one's consciousness, the careful selection and analysis of thoughts, and the recognition of truth through meditation. It is a journey, a process, and a destination all at once. It is the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it.
What does it mean to be mature? Is it a function of our intellect, our ability to reason, analyze, and solve problems? Or is it a deeper, more profound aspect of our being, our spiritual self? Maturity is often bifurcated into two distinct elements: intellectual maturity and spiritual maturity. Both are integral to human development, yet they serve different purposes and are cultivated through different means. Intellectual maturity is a product of our mind's capacity to learn, understand, and apply knowledge. It is fostered through education, experience, and the continuous exercise of our cognitive abilities. It is the ability to make sound judgments, to analyze situations critically, and to respond appropriately. In contrast, spiritual maturity is not about knowledge or intellect. Instead, it is about understanding and connecting with the deeper, more profound aspects of our existence. It is about recognizing our place in the universe and seeking to align ourselves with the fundamental truths of life. But while these two aspects of maturity might seem separate or even contradictory, they are deeply interconnected. One might argue that spiritual maturity is a prerequisite for true intellectual maturity. Why? Because without a solid spiritual foundation, our intellect can lead us astray, making us overthink, misjudge, or even manipulate the world around us. On the other hand, an individual can possess spiritual maturity without necessarily having intellectual maturity. This is often seen in children who, though lacking in intellectual development, exhibit a deep sense of spirituality. They are open, curious, and accepting of the mysteries of life, reflecting a level of spiritual maturity that many adults struggle to achieve. The key takeaway here is the importance of spiritual maturity. It is the foundation upon which intellectual maturity is built, and it provides the grounding and perspective necessary for our intellect to function effectively. This is not to undermine the importance of intellectual maturity. It is crucial for navigating the complexities of life and for contributing to society in meaningful ways. However, without spiritual maturity, our intellectual pursuits can become unmoored, leading us down paths of confusion and strife. In conclusion, both intellectual and spiritual maturity are crucial for our development and well-being. However, it is spiritual maturity that provides the foundation and perspective necessary for our intellect to function effectively. So, as we strive to grow and evolve, let's not neglect our spiritual development, for it is through nurturing our spiritual selves that we can truly mature and flourish.
Have you ever pondered over the intriguing concept of infants possessing a level of spiritual maturity seemingly beyond their tender age? This paradoxical thought, termed infantile maturity, is a fascinating realm of exploration, often overlooked, yet paramount in understanding spiritual evolution. Infantile maturity, in essence, refers to the inherent spiritual maturity an infant brings into the world at birth. It is not a quality that needs to be instilled, but rather awakened within them. This awakening is not through formal education, but through a realization of their potential to continue their spiritual evolution. Now, you might wonder, why is this important? The significance lies in spiritual evolution, a journey of growth and enlightenment that transcends the physical realm. It is an integral part of our existence, connecting us to the universe and our higher selves. An infant's spiritual maturity plays a crucial role in this evolution, serving as the starting point of their spiritual journey. Sadly, most religious systems fail to provide the necessary stimuli for this spiritual awakening. They often focus on enforcing rituals and practices rather than fostering a voluntary acceptance of these principles. This forceful approach is counterproductive, often pushing individuals away from spiritual exploration at an early age. So how can we better nurture this infantile maturity? The key lies in early awareness. Infants should be made conscious of their inherent responsibility to connect intellectually with their total self. This awareness can be cultivated through rituals that appreciate the natural forces of the universe. However, it's important to note that these rituals must not be forced. Instead, they should be offered for acceptance or rejection. Infants, even in their earliest stages, who have an inherent appreciation for these communications, will accept them and continue their spiritual journey at their own pace. The practice of forcing infants to attend weekly meetings at specific hours should be avoided. Spiritual attunement is a personal journey, unique to each individual and often tied to their natural cycles. Therefore, they should have the freedom to seek spiritual communication at any time and be provided with a space to do so. In conclusion, the concept of infantile maturity is an integral part of spiritual evolution. It emphasizes the importance of early awareness, voluntary acceptance of rituals, and the freedom to seek spiritual communication. By embracing these principles, we can foster a more nurturing environment for spiritual growth, steering clear of forceful practices that often deter individuals from this path. Remember, spiritual evolution is not a race, but a journey, unique to each individual. The pace and path of this journey should be respected and nurtured, starting from the earliest stages of life. Infants, with their inherent spiritual maturity, hold within them the potential to embark on this journey. It is our responsibility to guide them, not by force, but by awakening their inherent maturity and fostering a nurturing environment for their spiritual growth.
What does it truly mean to be mature? Is it an age, an accomplishment, or perhaps a state of mind? In today's society, we often encounter the concept of induced maturity. This is a form of maturity that is not genuine or absolute, but rather it is a product of societal expectations and norms. It's as if we're on a conveyor belt, moving through predefined stages and milestones, each one supposedly bringing us closer to this elusive state of maturity. However, this induced maturity can often lead to confusion and strife. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. We are pushed to conform to a heavily intellectual society where maturity is often equated with knowledge and intellectual prowess. But is this truly what maturity is? Induced maturity creates an artificial boundary, separating us from our true selves. It's a surface-level maturity lacking depth and substance. It's like a beautifully decorated cake, but when you cut into it, it's hollow. On the other hand, real maturity is a different beast altogether. Real maturity can only be achieved through meditation. Yes, meditation. Now, before you roll your eyes and dismiss this as some new age mumbo-jumbo, hear this out. Meditation is not just about sitting quietly and emptying your mind. It's about introspection, self-discovery, and growth. It's about cultivating a deep connection with your inner self beyond the superficialities of society's induced maturity. You see, real maturity is about more than just intellectual prowess. It's about spiritual growth and awareness. It's about breaking down the artificial boundaries created by induced maturity and allowing your intellect and spirit to communicate and grow together. It's a dual process. While meditation forms the foundation, the intellectual mind becomes a powerful tool in the development of the spirit, once the art of meditation is mastered. In summary, induced maturity is a societal construct, promoting an intellectual but shallow form of maturity. Real maturity, however, is achieved through daily meditation, fostering a deep and meaningful connection between the intellect and the spirit. Remember, the journey to real maturity is not a race. It's a personal journey of growth and discovery, so take a step back from the societal conveyor belt of induced maturity and embark on the path to real maturity. Break down the barriers, connect with your spirit, and let the true self emerge. In the grand scheme of things, maturity isn't about reaching a certain age or ticking off societal milestones. It's about growing as an individual, becoming more aware, more understanding, and more in tune with your inner self. That, my friends, is the essence of real maturity.